When a man carries unhealed emotional wounds, those wounds sometimes not only make it difficult for him to love, but can also lead him to unconsciously or intentionally take advantage of the feelings of the woman by his side. However, it is important to understand that not every man who has been hurt will behave in this way. What truly matters is the repeated behaviors that show he is enjoying the attention, sacrifice, and love of another person without any intention of building a genuine relationship. If you notice many of the signs below appearing together over a long period of time, that may be the moment when you need to look at your relationship more objectively. One of the most easily noticeable signs is that he always avoids conversations that are emotional or have depth. The talks between the two of you almost exclusively revolve around simple topics such as the weather, sports, daily work, newly released movies, or short entertaining stories. Yet as soon as the conversation shifts to emotions, past experiences, dreams, life values, or future plans, he immediately finds a way to change the subject. You might ask about his childhood, but instead of sharing, he only laughs it off, makes a joke, or answers with a few very general sentences. When you open up about the things that make you sad, your worries, or your deepest feelings, he shows impatience, becomes distracted, or quickly switches to an entirely different topic. Over time, you will feel that you are the only one trying to build an emotional connection. A healthy relationship is not maintained solely by dates or cheerful conversations. It also requires the willingness to share, listen, and understand each other's deepest parts. If he rarely asks about your feelings, does not remember the important stories you have told, or has never truly wanted to understand who you are as a person, then it is very likely that he only wants to keep the relationship at a superficial level. That allows him to enjoy your companionship without having to invest real emotions. Another very common sign is the inconsistency in the way he treats you. Today, he may give you all his attention, constantly texting, calling, planning dates, praising you, and making you feel like the most special person. But just a few days later, everything seems to disappear. Messages become sparse, calls stop coming, promises are forgotten, and you begin to wonder what you did wrong. This constant change keeps you living in a state of waiting and insecurity. You never know how he will treat you the next day. Sometimes he is full of love. Other times, he is as cold as a stranger. Promises are also frequently left unfulfilled. He says he will call, but then does not. He makes plans to meet on the weekend, but at the last minute finds every possible reason to cancel. Sometimes work is too busy. Sometimes something unexpected comes up. Sometimes he simply says he is too tired. Everyone has busy periods, but when these reasons appear again and again, they are no longer coincidences. Even if you gently share that this inconsistency hurts you, he may turn it around and make you feel guilty. He says you are too sensitive, too demanding, or overthinking. Gradually, instead of looking at his behavior, you begin to doubt yourself. What needs to be remembered is that stability is always one of the foundations of a mature relationship. A person who truly loves you may be busy or under pressure, but they will still find ways to make you feel respected and secure. If instability is always the default state in the relationship, the problem is very likely not with you. The next sign is that he only shows up when he needs something from you. Try to recall the times he initiated contact. How many of those times were simply to ask how your day was, to share something happy, or just because he missed you? And how many times were because he needed help? He might only text when he needs to borrow money, needs you to drive him somewhere, needs help moving things, needs you to solve a problem, or simply because he is bored and has no one else to talk to. There are periods when he almost completely disappears from your life. Yet as soon as he needs something, your phone lights up with a message from him as if no distance had ever existed. A healthy relationship always involves give and take from both sides. A person who truly cares will want to know how you are living, will be happy when you achieve success, will be there for you in difficult times, and will also share with you the memorable moments in their own life. Try comparing this with your close friends. They do not only come to you when they need help, they check in, care about you, and maintain the connection even when there is no benefit involved. A romantic relationship should also be built on that foundation. If every time he initiates contact, it comes with a request or some need, you should ask yourself whether he is loving the person you are or only loving what you can provide for him. Another sign that is very worth paying attention to is that he never truly brings you into his life. After many months of dating, you still have never been formally introduced to his family or close friends. You only hear him talk about them, but have never become part of gatherings or important occasions. When there is a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or company event, he always goes alone or finds some reason for you not to appear. You feel as if you exist only in a very small corner of his life, as if the two of you are living in completely separate worlds. Normally, when a man sees a future with you, he will naturally want to bring you closer to the important people in his life. He wants you to meet his family, get to know his friends, share achievements at work, and let everyone know that you are someone special. Of course, everyone needs personal space, and not every relationship needs to progress too quickly. But if after a sufficiently long period of time you are still kept outside every important aspect of his life, that is something worth reflecting on. Perhaps he has not yet determined a future with you. Perhaps he is not truly serious. Or it may simply be that he does not see you as a long-term part of his life. You deserve to be in a position where the person you love is proud to introduce you to everyone, rather than always feeling as if you are a secret that needs to be kept hidden. One final sign is that he always avoids any commitment about the future. Every time you bring up defining the relationship, moving in together, meeting the family, or discussing long-term plans, he immediately finds a way to dodge the topic. He does not like calling you his girlfriend or partner. Phrases such as, "Let's just let things happen naturally," "Don't create pressure," "It's not the right time yet," or "Let's just see how it goes," are repeatedly used, even though the two of you have been dating for many months or even years. When you ask about future plans, the answers are always very vague. He rarely puts forward any specific plans that include your presence. Instead, there are the familiar explanations such as work being too busy, finances not yet stable, or not being ready for a serious relationship. These reasons can sometimes be entirely valid. However, what matters is observing whether they are only temporary difficulties or have become prolonged excuses stretching from 1 month to the next year. A person who truly wants to walk alongside you may not yet be ready to get married right away, but they will still show you that you are part of their future plans. Conversely, if every conversation about commitment is avoided, it is very likely that he wants to keep all the benefits of a relationship without wanting to take on any of the responsibilities or bindings that come with it. Another sign that is very easy to overlook, yet appears quite frequently in unhealthy relationships, is that he constantly makes you feel guilty. At first, this may happen so subtly that you do not notice it at all. Over time, you begin to apologize more often, blame yourself more, and gradually believe that every problem in the relationship originates from you. Try to picture a familiar situation. You simply say that you miss him and hope the two of you can have more time together. That is a very normal desire in any relationship. But instead of listening or finding a way to balance time, he reacts in a way that makes you feel you are being unreasonable. He might say something like, "You already know how busy my work is. Why can't you be a little more understanding?" Or, "You always want more? Is whatever I do never enough?" Immediately, the conversation is no longer about your legitimate need. Instead, you start to feel guilty for having spoken up. You wonder whether you are asking for too much, even though in reality you are only hoping to receive more care. The same thing happens when you share your feelings. If something makes you sad, disappointed, or hurt, an emotionally mature person will try to listen first before responding. They may not agree with everything you say, but they still respect your emotions. In contrast, someone who frequently manipulates will quickly turn the situation around. Instead of focusing on the issue you are sharing, he makes you the cause of everything. You may hear sentences such as, "You always make everything complicated. Why can't you be happier?" Or, "I'm already so tired and you still create more pressure." After many times like this, you gradually become reluctant to express your true feelings. You start keeping everything inside just to avoid another argument. You choose silence not because everything is fine, but because you are afraid of being labeled as too sensitive again. This is precisely when the balance in the relationship begins to disappear. A person who constantly has to suppress their emotions to please the other will gradually lose their self-confidence and sense of safety. What needs to be remembered is that wanting to be cared for, to be listened to, or to spend time together is not selfish at all. These are very normal emotional needs of anyone who is in love. A person who truly loves you will not use guilt to make you give up those legitimate needs. They will find ways to understand and resolve the issue together with you, rather than making you feel you are always the one at fault. If you notice yourself constantly apologizing for things that should not require an apology, or always feeling guilty after every conversation with them, take time to look back at the entire relationship. Do not let guilt become a tool for someone else to control your emotions. A healthy love must bring peace, a sense of being respected and listened to, rather than constantly making you doubt your own worth. One final sign, and also one of the most important, is that he shows no interest in your goals, dreams, and personal growth. Think about this. When you truly love someone, you want to see them grow, succeed, and be happy. Their success also makes you feel proud. That is a very natural reaction in a relationship built on companionship. But if every time you excitedly share a new plan, a project you are pursuing, or a major life goal, he only responds with indifference, quickly changes the subject, or shows no interest, then that is something you should pay attention to. You might tell him that you want to go back to school for another degree, start a new job, open your own business, or pursue a skill you have always loved. Instead of asking more or encouraging you, he only replies with a few perfunctory sentences and ends the conversation. Over time, you will realize he rarely asks how things are progressing. He does not remember your important milestones. He also does not show up to congratulate you when you achieve success or to encourage you when you face failure. A true life partner will act completely differently. They will be curious about what you are pursuing. They will ask what you need help with, will encourage you when you feel discouraged, and will celebrate with you even the smallest successes. If you decide to study further, they will ask how your studies went today. If you are preparing for an important interview, they will wish you luck. If you achieve something you are proud of, they will be as happy as if they had achieved it themselves. Because when a person truly loves you, they do not see your growth as a threat. They see it as shared happiness for both of you. Conversely, if he frequently dismisses your goals, says they are unrealistic or unimportant, or continuously makes you feel you should give them up, that may indicate he is not truly invested in your future. Your dreams do not need to be understood by everyone, but the person who chooses to walk beside you should be someone who respects them. You deserve someone who believes in your abilities, encourages you to move forward, and always wants to see the best version of you. If you notice that your goals are continuously looked down upon or ignored, be bold enough to have an honest conversation. Sometimes the other person's reaction in that conversation will give you the clearest answer about how much they truly value you. Finally, remember that a healthy relationship is not built only on emotions, but also on respect, companionship, and the ability to help both people grow together. If someone constantly makes you feel you have to sacrifice your own values, shrink your dreams, or accept things that hurt you, then what you need is probably not to try harder, but to have enough courage to put your own happiness first. If you found today's sharing valuable, please take a moment to hit the like button to support the channel and share this video with those who may also need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe so you can continue joining us in upcoming videos, where we will keep exploring psychology, relationships, and lessons that help each person build a happier life. If you have thoughts or experiences you would like to share, leave a comment below. We always read and cherish every one of your stories. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. We wish you always find relationships that bring peace, respect, and the love you truly deserve. See you in the next video.